That's a nice looking share chart. It's for IMAX, which has done rather well from January through to now. IMAX is celebrating strong results this week with the announcement of even more movies. New X-Men trailer was released. It's called Dark Phoenix, and it's in theaters this June. Also reported a record-breaking Chinese New Year. The Chinese sci-fi film called The Wandering Earth, now being released in the United States. Rich Gelfond is the IMAX chief exec with me from Los Angeles. Good to see you, Rich. As always, thank you. The Oscars came and the Oscars went, and now we sort of work out who made money and who didn't. What did you make of it?
I thought it was a really good result. The wealth was spread around by a lot of the producers of content. Roma won some things but didn't win everything. We were involved for the first time. People didn't really talk about this, but more blockbusters were nominated than usual. Bohemian Rhapsody, which we were involved with, which was terrific. Black Panther was the first film in a while with that kind of popular success that got nominated. And A Star is Born also was a big success. So that was a trend. People didn't talk about it, but it was nice to see some kind of movies that the public liked in big numbers get nominated.
And as for yourselves, you've had great numbers, very good numbers, and you had an excellent Chinese New Year releases. And I was surprised looking at your results. I didn't realize you had that many screens now in China.
Yeah, we have about 600 screens open, and we have another 350 in backlog. For the Chinese New Year film, we did 10% of the Chinese box office. And when you figure that there are something like 70,000 screens in China, almost double, we're doing very well. There'd been a rough patch in there for a while, but what we started to do was we changed our marketing and our programming. We're actually up 60% year to date in China over last year. Wandering Earth was a new genre also in China. It was a sci-fi with better special effects than they used before. The Chinese saved the Earth, so that was a nice plot twist. But I think it's a start of higher budget production in China and more movies and genres that are going to work for IMAX.
Do you see what needs to happen in the Western markets, in the US and Europe, for IMAX now? What is it you need? Is it you need more content? Do you need different content? What is it?
Well, fortunately this year, Richard, I don't think we're going to need much. Remember, we're not an exhibitor. We display blockbuster films in an immersive way. And this is a magical year for blockbusters. I mean, you have Captain Marvel, which is opening on March 8th with Disney. And that movie, the pre-sales for us are better than they were for Thor Ragnarok and Wonder Woman and a bunch of other things. So the tracking is excellent. Then right after that, you have Avengers, which was the biggest movie last year. And this is the end of that series. I think it's going to be big. You've probably heard about Lion King, Jon Favreau. It's a huge scope movie. Star Wars, the final chapter. And we should underline the word final because there's actually an end this year. Spider-Man with Sony. I mean, I could go on.
Right.
It's one of the best years I've seen going in for us.
Will it be the final for Star Wars?
I've told it's the final, Richard, but as you know, in science fiction, you never know.
Good to see you. Thank you, Rich. Keep well, sir. Always good to see you. Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you.